Goku and Gohan keep advancing in terms of power, but Vegeta's starting to feel left behind. He's able to get a lot stronger, but against Buu, it doesn't seem to be enough. He's able to hold off Buu at first, but Buu's able to get the upper hand, eventually absorbing Vegeta. This creates a predicament for everybody else. Goku and Gohan have the power to defeat Buu, but now they need to save Vegeta beforehand. How are they going to do this? All of that and more will be discussed in this part 3 of What If Goku and Gohan Were Trapped in the Room of Spirit and Time. So, Goku and Gohan are kind of stumped now. Buu feels very confident in his new power, and immediately attacks them, but they're able to easily counter him. Actually, he only attacks Goku at first, and Goku alone is enough to counter Buu. And all the while Goku's fighting him, he's still talking to Gohan. He's multitasking. This angers Buu. He's not taking the fight seriously. And yeah, because Buu's not really a threat to them at the moment. They can hold him off, but they want to get Vegeta out of him so they can kill Buu.
Gohan suggests just killing Buu and reviving Vegeta later with Purunga. That definitely will work. And Goku says, yeah, but they might be able to find another way. With the great power that they have, they could probably think of something else. And he's also surprised that Gohan would suggest this. He of all people would probably be looking for a better solution, right? Well, Gohan has a different outlook here. He doesn't necessarily want to jump right to killing, but he sees that as the best and quickest outcome, and the safest. He reminds Goku, after the years they've wasted so far, they shouldn't take any more risks. And he tries to convince Goku as they keep discussing. He doesn't want to mess around here, and Goku almost goes for it. But then Shin and Kibito intervene. Shin has one suggestion, if they do want to try it. He's not entirely sure if it'll work though, but if they don't immediately want to resort to killing Vegeta and Buu, there's one thing they could try, and Gohan reluctantly listens.
Shin and Kibito actually have an idea though, but they're not too sure how it'll work. So they want Goku to use magic, although it's going to take him a while to learn it. They tell Goku that they have powers that might be able to help separate Vegeta from Buu, but the issue is that they're not strong enough to use it. Goku could definitely do that, but he doesn't have any magical abilities right now. He's going to have to actually learn how to utilize that, a completely new power system for him. Wait, so the issue is they need more time? Goku and Gohan are thinking the exact same thing, even though they hate the idea of it. So they could use the Room of Spirit and Time for this. And they explain what it is to Shin and Kibito, or at least Gohan explains it while Goku's holding off Buu. Neither of them likes the idea of going back in, but in order to save Earth, it might be worth it. And hey, the room is stronger this time, and they're only going to be training with magic, which hopefully means they won't accidentally destroy the room again. Shin says it should take a few days or weeks at most. That's good at least, they're not going to have to be in the room for too long. And Goku looks over to Gohan, telling him to take the fight with Buu. Goku's actually going to go in. Given how badly this affected Gohan before, he doesn't want to put him through that again. Even though the risk of them getting trapped again is significantly lower, he still knows how Gohan feels about the whole thing, and he feels the same way. But he's willing to do this in order to save Earth and allow Gohan to avoid that. Buu looks on confused as Shin, Kibito, and Goku then teleport away, and he asks Gohan what's happening. Gohan doesn't even explain to Buu. He just needs to buy some time for now, so he needs to stall Buu as long as possible. And it's not too hard. He only needs to use Super Saiyan 2 for this. And Buu tries coaxing Gohan into using more power. He has that Super Saiyan 3 form. Goku was even trying to use it beforehand. But then for some reason, he transformed out of it. And it's not because they have an issue with stamina or anything. They solved that a while ago. It's because Goku actually had to hold back here. And with Gohan being above him, he's gonna need to hold back even more. Hell, Super Saiyan 2 might even be overkill. And Buu wonders why he isn't taking this seriously. Gohan tells Buu he is taking it seriously. Buu just doesn't realize that yet. But Buu's angered by this response. If he's taking it seriously, why isn't he transformed? He wants to see that full power. He needs to fight Gohan at full strength. Buu tries to threaten Gohan, but the threats do nothing. He tries to threaten Earth. And that actually does do something, because while Gohan's strong enough to defend against Buu, Earth definitely isn't. He sticks a hand down towards the ground, beginning to charge a blast, telling Gohan he'll just blow up Earth if Gohan doesn't take this seriously. And he notices Gohan's demeanor change, and he smiles. But before he could do anything, Gohan then vanishes, and Buu feels a sharp pain to the back of his neck. Gohan's behind him, now in Super Saiyan 3, and with a single attack, he knocks Buu out. Gohan then de-transforms, surprised. You know, he didn't really expect that to be a possibility. And this is much easier than holding Buu off. Just keep him unconscious. Although, this is going to be kind of annoying now. He has to essentially babysit Buu and make sure he doesn't wake up, until Goku comes back at least. Meanwhile, Shin and Kibito brought Goku to the lookout, and they're now in the Room of Spirit and Time. Goku's training with these new powers, and it's strange. Learning magic seems very useful. It could come in handy in the future as well. They're surprised at how quick Goku's learning it. Like, he is a prodigy after all, but learning this high level of magic this quickly, it's incredible. Well, it isn't the first time he had to learn some sort of new kind of power. He did learn some spirit control in Yard Rat after all. And Goku's now expanding his skill set even more. Ki control, spirit control, and now magic control, I guess. About an hour passes, and then Goku exits the Room of Spirit and Time. That wasn't that bad, only about half a month in there. Goku teleports everyone back to the battlefield, and honestly, they don't know what they expected. They see Gohan sitting there on a rock, looking intensely at Buu, who's on the ground, unconscious. Shin and Kibito are just completely dumbfounded at this. They make Majin Buu look like a joke, not to mention he's powered up right now too, to a significant amount actually. And here Gohan is, watching him sleep. Goku even remembers hearing about something similar on Yardrat, where he could possibly separate powers from people, but it seems that magic will be enough to do the trick too. That is what Buu has been utilizing after all to actually absorb people. So while Force Spirit Fission would be a good counter to this, magic would be even better because it's actually available here. He simply walks up to Buu, sticks his hands out, closes his eyes, and is then surrounded by an intense energy. Not ki, something else. And Gohan's taken aback by seeing this. Interesting, Goku has access to magic now. Buu is then split into two, Super Buu and Vegeta, both of whom are unconscious and then eventually wake up. Buu opens his eyes and the first thing he sees is Gohan's hand in front of his face, then proceeding to be immediately eradicated by him. Vegeta wakes up slowly, but this blast jerks him awake, actually kind of scaring him and catching him off guard. He looks around, then realizing he's on the outside again. He's safe. He apologizes to the two of them. He was too reckless. He was able to hold off Buu, but holding off Buu wasn't enough. He realizes the gap in power between them. He needs to get more to make sure it's enough to fight villains like that in the future. Goku and Gohan aren't upset at Vegeta for that. I mean, it's not like what he did with Majin Vegeta where he was incredibly reckless with that and directly put other people in danger because he was the danger. So they can't really hold it against him. He just wanted to help here and be involved. He had good intentions. But still, Vegeta says there was no excuse. He feels like nothing compared to them. But also, he knows the advantage they have here and the cost of it. Them getting trapped in the Room of Spirit and Time. That's their advantage. And obviously he learned that the hard way beforehand in the last two parts. It's a double-edged sword, and it's not something he could use to get ahead. But he doesn't want to just sit back either. Vegeta's of course fully a good guy now, but he's still very prideful. And his rivalry with Goku is way different than the main series. Goku's main rival is essentially Gohan here because they're the closest in terms of power. Vegeta is just so far behind that the rivalry is completely different, if it even is there anymore. Which is why Vegeta's resorted to training with Piccolo more if anything. But he still has a desire to catch up to Goku, possibly even go ahead of him. He just doesn't know how it's possible. But after the Buu saga, he begins thinking, well, Goku trained with those Kais and got some new magical abilities. And then it hits him. He has the perfect idea. Before the Kais leave, he goes up to them, and he asks them about something. Would they be willing to train him? And they're not too sure what to say to this. Well, it went pretty well with Goku, and they actually kind of had fun with it. It would help them protect against threats like that in the future, so it wouldn't be too bad to take Vegeta on as a student. But he also has another question too. Do they know anything about Beerus? And they're surprised to hear this. Vegeta knows about him? Well, yeah. Beerus terrorized their planet a while ago. Okay, not the best introduction for him, but Vegeta says eventually one day, he wants to try and seek out Beerus. He has a new goal now. He wants to train under gods. Goku did it before too, training under King Kai. And it worked pretty well back then. And whether it's the Kais or eventually Beerus, Vegeta now wants to train under somebody else. He doesn't know if Beerus would necessarily take him in or where Beerus is. Apparently, according to the Kais, he's sleeping right now, so he's not even available. But either way, he's stoked to be training under the Kais. And they're happy to train him. He leaves the planet, and outside of Bulma and Trunks, nobody really actually knows about it. A few months later, eventually Goku hears it from Bulma, and he's surprised to hear about that. Well, it seems like Vegeta's doing his own thing to try and get ahead now, and Goku's happy. He wants to see where Vegeta will go. It could be really interesting for him to go down this new path. And of course, it only serves as more motivation for him and Gohan to train more. For all they know, Vegeta might be able to unlock something that they've never seen before. But they're on the same path as well. They're looking towards something completely different. Of course, Super Saiyan 3 is great, especially with them having perfected it and all, having no flaws anymore, and being able to use it at its max power, on command, for however long they want essentially. But they're still trying to think. There's gotta be something beyond it too, right? Like look back to what happened with Super Saiyan for them. They found multiple stages beyond grade 1 of Super Saiyan, eventually completely ascending it into Super Saiyan 2, and then Super Saiyan 3, which they didn't even intentionally want to try and get. So for all they know, there's stages beyond this too. Super Saiyan 3 might not be their limit. Right now, their current maximum is a perfected state of Super Saiyan 3 called Super Saiyan 3 Full Power, the same kind of Super Saiyan 3 that Cumber used in Dragon Ball Heroes. There's no limitations to it, except the form itself. That's the thing, they know there's gotta be something above it too. And they gotta break that limit in whatever way possible. Especially if Vegeta's training for something else. They don't know if he's trying to get a new form or whatever, but at the very least, he'll probably learn more about magic, just like Goku did. And Goku's magical abilities are very limited right now. He essentially just learned how to separate people from Buu. Essentially a magic version of what he could have learned from Force Spirit Fission, but it's a very particular use case. Point being though, they have no idea what the extent of magic is, or if Vegeta's even learning that. Who knows what he's doing over there. Back on the Sacred World of Kais, Vegeta's been doing some other training. And he actually did train to learn some limited magic, but he's not too practiced with it yet. He has more experience than Goku with it, but still, he has a long way to go, especially because a lot of his time training is spent trying to do strength training. Magic's great and all, but he's also trying to increase his power and improve his fighting abilities too. This eventually leads him to trying to use the Z-Sword. At first, it's kinda tough, but with him having Super Saiyan 2, especially with how strong he is here, Vegeta's able to actually pull the Z-Sword relatively easily, at least compared to how tough it would have been for anyone normally. This alone surprises Shin and Kibito, and then Vegeta begins training with it. And it takes some time to get used to, but eventually he swings it around just like it's a normal sword. His power increases dramatically. It's already working, and he's elated. Until one day where he gets too powerful for the sword, and it ends up breaking, freeing Elder Kai. This has some pretty big implications as is, but it's even crazier once Vegeta realizes that he has some sort of ability that can unlock someone's latent potential. And the best part is, he has all the time in the world. Unlike Gohan in the main story when he was getting that ritual done, they're not restrained by some threat being on Earth. Vegeta could stay in the ritual for as long as he needs. So after they learn more about Elder Kai and discuss with him, eventually Vegeta learns about the ritual and has it done on himself. Elder Kai is still wondering why Vegeta wants this power. There's no threats to use it against, so why is Vegeta training so intensely? It's just to improve himself as much as he can. He wants to see what his limits are, if there are any. As a Saiyan, there shouldn't be limits. He wants to see what heights he could ascend to. And he gets his first taste of that after this. The ritual is complete, and now we see Ultimate Vegeta. He tries to transform, and instead of going Super Saiyan, he looks pretty much the same. He has a white aura surrounding him, but nothing about him changes physically, except his ki, which is amazingly intense. So much so that it can be sensed outside this realm too. The power of Ultimate Vegeta is sensed on Earth, as well as everywhere else. When he first powers up, he doesn't even know how to contain the power, but eventually gets the hang of it, and Vegeta immediately starts getting to work with this. Elder Kai asks Vegeta too, what's his ultimate goal one day? What is he going to use this power for? Shin then mentions that Vegeta said he wanted to meet Beerus soon, and Elder Kai's taken aback by this. He wants to meet Beerus? That was the guy who sealed him! This of course comes as a shock to everybody, but also at the same time, not really. Vegeta kinda knows how Beerus is after his first experience with him, seeing how he treated King Vegeta and all. And Shin thinks that's pretty in line with something he'd do. Although it's insane that he's only just learning about this now. But unbeknownst to everybody, Beerus might actually arrive sooner than normal. When Vegeta first powered up with Ultimate, it was sensed everywhere. Not just Earth, but in another realm too. On Beerus' planet, while he's sleeping, something disturbs this nap. It's nothing too impressive, but for the first time in a while, Beerus senses some sort of other energy. Nothing concerning him, but it's enough to disturb his sleep, and eventually having him wake up. And it's strange too. He was having dreams of some sort of Super Saiyan god, and he wonders if it has any sort of correlation. And immediately, he tries to seek out whoever this was. And luckily, Whis has some great info for him. Apparently on the Sacred World of Kais, a Saiyan is training there, and that seems to be where that key signature originated from. Interesting, a Saiyan on the Sacred World of Kais, and apparently it's Vegeta, the Prince of Planet Vegeta. This is all sounding really interesting to Beerus, so he heads there immediately, even though he's still a little bit tired. Not too long after the ritual was completed on Vegeta, during his training one day, two visitors show up on the Sacred World of Kais. Elder Kai is terrified, with Shin and Kibito being taken aback. They thought they sensed Beerus awakening, but he actually is awake. Beerus yawns, greeting everybody. He doesn't really need to introduce himself because everyone here actually knows him, so he's glad to save some time that way. He's interested to see that Elder Kai has been freed from the Z-Sword, and learns that Vegeta was responsible. Well, he's not mad because apparently this led to Vegeta becoming this strong, so he has an idea for how Vegeta could repay him and make this right. Fight him. And Vegeta's taken aback. Already? Beerus wants to fight him? He wanted to seek out Beerus, but he's not ready to fight him yet. Beerus was an end goal for him. Maybe someday he was going to try and find Beerus, and hopefully Beerus could teach him some sort of powers. He remembered how powerful Beerus was a while ago when he saw him, and thought it would be helpful to train with him one day, but he didn't think that day would come now, this soon. But he can't really protest against it, so he powers up to his maximum and begins fighting Beerus. And of course, it's nothing against Beerus. Beerus immediately realizes that Vegeta's not a Super Saiyan god, but Beerus does see the potential. I mean, that is what Ultimate is, it's his potential unleashed. So in the most literal sense, he actually sees Vegeta's potential. And even if he's not a Super Saiyan god yet, I mean, he's training under Kais. He has some godlike abilities, he has access to magic, he has this ultimate power. And on top of that, he's a Saiyan, he can grow really fast. It's all adding up for Beerus. The Super Saiyan god might be real, he just might not be here yet. I mean, Beerus did wake up earlier than normal. For all he knows, if he did sleep, Vegeta would have unlocked this form. And that's probably why Vegeta's not a Super Saiyan god yet. Vegeta has no idea how to respond to this. He's not a Super Saiyan god yet? He didn't even know that was a thing, but apparently he's gonna become one? Well, Beerus says it is some sort of prophecy that he dreamt of. He has no other explanation in mind. He assumes the Super Saiyan god will be real, and that Super Saiyan god is Vegeta. Beerus will just need to guide him towards that path. or at least Whis will need to guide him there. And he asks Vegeta, what does he think about that? Come to his planet, train with him instead of these Kais, become a Super Saiyan God. Shin and Kibito are a little bit pissed to hear this because they were training Vegeta. He was their student. But of course they really have no choice or say in the matter, and Vegeta doesn't really have a choice either. Also, this is what he wanted, even if it's arriving way earlier than he expected. So, he accepts Beerus' offer, and Beerus takes Vegeta under his wing, taking him back to his planet. Not only did Beerus awaken early, but he never went to Earth, and nobody there knows of what he's doing. Nor do they know where Vegeta is or what he's up to. But Goku and Gohan are still improving themselves, wondering how Vegeta's doing. One day, they'll be able to show Vegeta their new power as well, and possibly even something further beyond. Gohan's taking his training a lot more seriously, and it does make Goku feel kinda bad. Because of what happened before, Gohan can't really focus on his studies too much anymore, and most of his time is spent training, which is good, but at the same time, he knows it's not what Gohan wanted beforehand, and he could tell. Gohan still hasn't fully adjusted to this situation, and he wonders if Gohan ever will fully adjust. He's worried for his son, and wonders what will come out of this as a result. This is where we'll leave off for now. So, what do you guys think about this part? What do you think is going to happen next? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below, and I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. Drop a like on the video if you want to see more like this, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.